Hello. All right. So, encoding overload. Well, the only thing that's important is my fucking voice. So, that's not going to be affected by the encoding. Um, so, I'm trying to should probably made the list so I don't forget shit, but I I want to start out by saying the most important thing first, which is yesterday I kind of figured something out. To date this is February 24th, 2025. And yesterday was 23rd. So what I figured out is that I kind of need time to enjoy myself or spend time with myself, I guess, express myself, whatever. And this video would probably be better with a kind of script, but at least for this part. But the thing is, what I've been doing is for the past week is trying to do a kind of alternative workday, rest day type of schedule. And went all right so far until my workday Saturday. Okay, I guess I better fucking define it. Work days is just getting shit done and doing the tasks. I work I try to work Monday through Friday. That's how I'm supposed to fucking work. That didn't really pan out last week. But by Saturday work day, I mean I was supposed to try and get stuff done through most of the day, and I don't know, it kind of threw me. I was thrown off because I asked a neighbor to take me get groceries, and he said he'd be able to do it Sunday, so we did it Sunday, and it kind of threw me off, and I didn't feel like doing anything that I was supposed to, and other than the grocery thing, it just really got to me. I was depressed. And I had to face that depression and talk to myself in the mirror for a little bit and try to get my frustrations out and understand them better. And that's what led to the enjoyment thing. So apparently what I was doing made sense, but to clarify a bit more, it's more like a yin yang orb, where how it's most likely going to go is workday is going to be ideally mostly work with some fun, and then this fun or rest days are going to be fun or resting with some work, which makes sense because even if I'm trying to have fun during a day, there are still things I need to do to take care of myself, eating, not just starving because I'd rather have fun. Doing my eye drops, if any other medical conditions or something, I get a sore back or something, I still need take care of that or something. But yeah, and so even though like I was doing that shit more or less like already, I feel like the revelation that I need time to enjoy myself somehow is kind of big, because now the rest days, like, I actually respect it as a need, you know, and not just an ideal where I need to. It sounds kind of weird, but it's like part of the responsibility of taking care of myself is making sure that, you know, I have some fun in my life. And it kind of makes sense now that, like, fucking, if you look at like The Sims, there's usually a meter for fun. And I don't know how much of that is just wisdom or something, that there's a fun meter. But but yeah, and that's something that I kind of struggle with, mostly because I have, well, for several reasons I struggle with it. When I'm depressed, it's a struggle to enjoy the things that I normally would, and part of that you know can feed in that is that there are kind of bad experiences with indulgence and shit, where you know, too much of a good thing is a bad thing and shit. And so, like, if I get too carried away with me enjoying shit, then I'll end up neglecting myself. And if I'm not enjoying shit, I'm like immediately hating myself because, oh, I'm starving. Well, fuck you for doing this to me. I was like, wow, okay. But yeah, so I don't know if I'm going to make this into a video. It most likely is, especially if I like come up to any more conclusions, because this is just a recording, a log for my journey, my adventure of trying to take care of myself and shit. And today's Monday, and I didn't get much sleep last night. I ended up taking an extended nap after work. But I've done what I need to do for today. And so I'm hoping that Tuesday, tomorrow, I'll be able to make it a work day. And I'll hopefully be able to ride my bike to the bank, because I got shit I gotta do at the bank. And I'm assuming that the weather is going to be pretty good to actually fucking ride the new bike that I got. So that's something that I really want to take the opportunity before like the weather starts being crappy and raining this week. I want to take the opportunity to actually fucking, you know, ride my bike, so it doesn't seem like another fucking purchase I made that's a waste of fucking money. But yeah. So as of right now, like I need to do dishes, and doing dishes is part of taking care of myself. But I rolled a dice and said no to that. And like I decided to roll a dice because just currently I have been like not wanting to do dishes, but right now like I've just felt like doing dishes would be the best thing I could do to myself, but there's other things I could do, so I rolled for it and it said no. And then next best thing would be to, well, maybe not the next best thing, but something I could do to actually make progress in something is to draw a picture for a friend's birthday. Kind of. They told me what they wanted, more or less, and basically they just want to see me draw it. Because I asked them about like commissioning it, because my main concern was I don't know if I could make it before their birthday, and they're like, "Oh, that's fine, it's fine. You can take as much time as you need. I mostly want to see you draw it." And like, okay. But yeah. I'm a little self-conscious about that. And I rolled to do that, and it said no to that as well. And the reason why I said it's probably not the next best thing is because this is probably the next best thing for me, because, well, actually it's probably best to not label anything as like the best except dishes. But because the actual issue is that like I'd be making progress, but I wouldn't feel like I'd be making progress, you know? Because like if I get that drawing done, which I most likely won't do, I won't it'd probably take a while to draw, is what I'm trying to say. The main thing is like once drawing's done, it's like, then what? And so like I do have like some anxieties and stuff, and so drawing, I most likely would enjoy it and feel like I'm making progress, and that'd probably help me for like a couple hours. But this is also a thing that I could do, and it's mostly try and explore this shit about my adventure, and to try and figure out how to best to, I guess the next step is to figure out how to enjoy myself, really, as a oversimplification. All right, it's been like 15 minutes. So where do I go from here? There, okay. All right. Just something to get out of my fucking way is maybe for these videos I could like have like different images on screen so that like that could benefit people in certain ways, and either it's something to look at and depending on the picture, like people can be like, oh yeah, that's this video, or yeah, that's this video, instead of like having the same fucking like black screen with OBS bullshit on it, and it's like, oh, I don't remember what this video was talking about. Or if you're looking for certain videos, like, oh, I forget which one it is, and having the image like gives it its own like identity, so it's easier to identify just by looking. But I don't need to do that because I guess I should be treating these more as like kind of podcasts where it's just things that people can listen to. So I don't need any kind of like visual or worry about the kind of visual. At least not right now. I don't know what I'm going to do about content. What do I know about my enjoyment? Well, I know that I can enjoy different things for different reasons, and I have a pretty good hunch that there are different types of cravings for different type of things. Like maybe I want to relax with something interesting, or maybe I want something thought-provoking, or maybe I want to like do something with my hands involved like skills, you know, like fucking real-time strategy games or shoot 'em ups or some shit. And so this is why I have the idea of like a happiness toolkit where I would have like tools and learn how to fucking use them during like which tool to use for what situation in order to get a good amount of enjoyment out of whatever I'm doing. And to add to it, there are some times where I feel like what I want to do something that feels meaningful to other people. And it kind of fucks me up a little bit because I I somehow want to be a part of the equation. Like I can do things that can help our people, that can like be meaningful towards our people, and yet I feel like shit because it's like just for them and not for me or some shit. I don't know. Something that periodically pops back up and I feel like fucking really confused about. Because I think ultimately I want whatever I do to, like, you know, content creator, whatever, fucking, if I draw something or if I play a game or make a game or some shit, that what I do matters to somebody else or somebody else enjoys it. That's like a kind of fulfilling thing that I believe I would enjoy greatly. And it's more complicated than that. And I don't really know how to unpack that. Figure out how it ticks. And something I kind of told myself yesterday when I was talking to myself in the mirror is just like fucking, I don't need like I can do stuff that works and I don't need to know why. I just need to know what works. And to rebuttal that or counter that, fucking, the reason why I need to know why it works is because I don't know what the fuck works. If I knew why shit works or how shit works, then perhaps I'd have more knowledge to be able to figure out what the fuck works. Because I know how fucking shit fits into place. Or why and shit. Why these things happen and everything. Well, I believe I've mentioned before about the ideal of the one thing that'd make me happy. There'd be so much fucking benefit to it. It'd be easier to make me happy because I'd only be focusing on one thing. If one thing would make me happy almost all the time, then it's reliable. And so there's a sense of fucking safety in having that thing. Also a little bit stressed out to think of, the opposite, where like if instead of one thing it's like a bunch of small things, like a bunch of small drawings, and it's like after every drawing is complete, it's like there's a bit of like uncertainty and a feeling of insecurity. It's like, okay, what's the next thing? Oh. Yeah. And not having that answer kind of feels like, suddenly I'm fucking aimless again. I have a few projects or whatever that I think I would like to do. And sometimes I don't want to waste effort on something. So I usually think about whether it's worth doing or not, which of course depends on, what I value, but also like my mindset. And I feel like making something because I want to play a specific game isn't motivating enough. Like, I want to play a city builder where, like, I currently have an idea that, like, what I'd want to play is a kind of turn-based Sims style game where fucking, and like, you know, city builder, whatever the fuck, where building the city costs resources, um and you have people that can generate those resources and shit by like cutting down wood or fucking going in a cave mining stone or who knows. But they have their own needs and shit, and fucking what your job is to um assign them shit to do, and then when you're done you just hit for the next thing and the time advances, and then you see whether they do it or not, whether they complete it or not, or if there's like bad luck happens or good luck happens. And a little bit Darkest Dungeon inspired, where fucking terrible things can happen and your people can die and you can be in a bad spot. But there's always some type of stagecoach where even if all your people die, you can always just get new free residents, and they'll join your fucking city, and then you can just tell them what to fucking do or something. But yeah, like going through the way with mindset is like fucking I want to play that kind of game, but going through the hassle and effort and time to get there, it's like I don't want to do that. But framing it as a kind of adventure might be, where it's just like, let's see what we can get. Let's see, let's try to do at least this one thing and see how the fuck it goes and shit. And some, like, then it's not, there's no pressure of like finishing. It's more in the framework, the mind framework of being a sandbox thing. And we can fucking, instead of being frustrated because there's bugs and it's like, oh god, like it's going to be even harder to like actually finish the thing. It's like we can fucking laugh at the bugs and how fucking stupid shit happens because we're just making up as we're going along, and fucking it's so like it's okay if things get wacky and dumb and like broken or some shit. But I'm a little bit distracted, but I will try to come back to this a little later. Okay, so I'm back. I did eye drops. So I want to backpedal a little bit back to me figuring out that, you know, enjoyment is a need of mine. So one of the things that came up when I was talking to myself in the mirror is prioritizing. And the framework I had at the time about prioritizing is that, like, there's one side where it's like I need to do this thing because it will benefit me in this way. And then there's another side where I want to do something else because it'd benefit me in a different way. And these two things would they would be at odds to each other. And in order to prioritize, it's like I gotta pick who wins and who loses. And I don't like that kind of framework, I guess. Because like people behave that way, like in arguments and shit. And the reason why I don't like that is because of the hierarchy or whatever. It's about dominance. And the thing about like the win-lose framework and like an argument is that like nobody wants to lose, because if they lose, then that means their feelings, their needs, their concerns, fuck those. Basically, they don't get their needs met. They don't have it like cared about. They're just supposed to submit to the needs of the winner, basically. And that's kind of why I don't like fucking politics either. But I'd like it if both people can like have a discussion where both sides' needs at least are mattered and cared about. And because then like even if one person has to win or whatever, then at least like because the other person's needs are cared about, maybe something will be done to that effect, even if it's just something small. But I just feel like it's more compassion and everything. But like when it's in the frame of a fucking internal struggle where one thing wins and one thing loses, then my perspective at the time was fucking that like I don't like it because no matter what side wins, I'm losing something. Some need of mine is going to be neglected no matter what. And so that's why I don't like anything about it, and why I don't like even if I do what's right or what's best for me, it feels like shit to do it. So it's always going to feel wrong and shit. But after I got out of my system, started thinking about it and shit, like I could try to maybe it doesn't have to be that way. Maybe I can try to do the same kind of framework to try and make both things, both the needs that I have matter. And that's kind of where I came to the conclusion of like it's probably best for me to schedule time for enjoyment, because it is a concern of mine. It is a need of mine. And by extension, it's kind of my responsibility for myself to try and, make sure that these needs of mine are met, even the enjoyment one. So hopefully that like little perspective thing also helps make other people understand it a little better. But yeah, so now back to talking about projects, I guess. It probably goes without saying, but I don't care. I'm gonna say it anyway because it's probably better to fucking get it out in the open. But because sometimes I don't fucking consider these things. Um, how do I pick what to do for my enjoyment? And there's different methods, and I want to say that different methods are going to fit different scenarios. So, like the toolkit, I guess. Um, I'm definitely going to have to listen to myself to feel out what I would feel like doing. It's a lot easier when there's like something specific I'm like excited or enthusiastic about. But it gets a bit iffy when it's more broader. Like, I want to build something. Like, do I want to uh, build something in Minecraft? Do I want to like do game dev? Like, how, what, like, what's the best thing that I can think of that can fulfill such a thing? And maybe I can't answer that question, but maybe I can at least try to give myself like some amount of time to try out a couple of them. Or like, like maybe 20 minutes Minecraft, see how that goes. If I'm not feeling it enough, maybe I could do 20 minutes game dev or something. Who knows? There are some times where I want, where I guess I don't know if I have ambitions, but I don't know. There's some times where I feel like I'd want to do big projects, and the game I described earlier would technically be a big fucking project, at least by my standards. Well, standards, skill level, both. Uh, and I don't know how to feel about those because again, I kind of don't want to go through the motions of having a big project or whatever, and then when I can't, you know, when I get to a point where don't feel motivated or feel like it's worth it to do, then I abandon it and feel awful. But and framework is probably the best thing for that. And like the why is like where it's worth is or something, where I hold the value and meaning in doing the thing for myself. Like what, like, I guess to ask myself where the enjoyment lies. And for the game idea I brought about, it'd be fun to play. Hopefully, it'd probably not be fun to make all that much. At least not completely. I'd have to face each individual like part I want to make as a standalone thing. I would have to make sim-like AI, more or less. Like I'd have to make the characters have some sort of AI where it has some kind of like checks and balances and values where it will decide if a character does what's instructed to do, or if you know, but that's a little bit basic because you know, like D&D perception checks or like fucking that type of thing. It's basically a lot of those stacked up on top of each other. In my mind, at least my current idea. But I'm also going to have to figure out how they play together with each other. And then another component would be the city building aspect. How am I going to randomize things? Am I going to have it to where there's chances that a new game or whatever is going to have abandoned buildings or facilities that aren't working but have some supplies that can be like scavenged and like used as a kind of plus in something, and but also like what's the characters going to interact with. I'm also going to have to code a kind of AI system that will, if the character is not instructed to do anything specific, then what are they going to do? You know? How is the code going to determine what that character is going to do, and like what traits are people going to have that will affect certain things? I assume people are going to age, like characters are going to age because the time is going to advance. I know how I want the time mechanic to be, where I want it like semi-real time, but doesn't have to be, where like an hour is an hour. So if you just let the game run for an hour, it will advance after an hour. And so if it was 1 o'clock end game, which isn't going to match like the time you're playing, most likely. But if it's like 1 o'clock end game and it runs for an hour and you don't do anything, then it's going to advance to the 2 o'clock hour end game. But you can always like, it'd probably go pretty quick in the first, and because you're only going to have a few people, I assume, in my idea. And so it's probably going to take like not more than 5 minutes to figure out what you want those couple people do or something. And so you can hit the next advanced time button and just so it becomes the 2 o'clock hour in game after 5 minutes. And then it happens and you go from there, and maybe like another 5 minutes, it's now 3 o'clock in the game. Because you just advance your turn and yeah. And with a system like that, it'd probably make sense that to have the most intentional progress is to just figure out what everyone has to do, advance time, save your game, and when you're done playing, just close it out and open it when you want to play again. So that there's no unintentional time skips. But maybe there'd be some fun from there'd be some enjoyment from just like I gotta go to work for like for 3 hours or something, and so I'm gonna do what I can, and then when work comes around, 3 hours in the game is going to, like, when I come back, it's going to be 3 hours later in the game, and like I assume there'd be a log of like everything that happened up to a point. But yeah, so in those 3 hours you can read about what the hell happened when you were gone, and I'd be like, oh, so I gotta deal with this shit now. And I don't know, maybe that could also be a fun way to play such a game where it's like, all right, I'm your god. I'm supposed to like help guide you people to shit, but I got to go to work, so I'm gonna let you guys handle it, and then and then come back and be like, I was gone 3 hours, and you guys like burned down this building. What the? This is why you guys need me. That can be some some hilarious content. But fun. And I just realized that talking about that shit like is probably a tangent because, but this is probably a big tangent. But back on trying to get back on track, which was having to face work, like making the mechanics and shit like one at a time. And the thing about making shit is, you know, taking an idea and bringing it to life, basically. And that's how I see drawing, and that's why I can even appreciate I can appreciate drawings that aren't of art of that aren't skilled. Like they don't look great, but I can still appreciate you know, the idea behind it and how it's being brought to life and shit. But So there's some enjoyment there, and I don't know. I haven't streamed in a while, but like, what content am I going to make? Or what am I going to do that would be enjoyable or some shit? And like, I have a kind of anxiousness towards that because I don't really know. But it's hard to think things through why I'm feeling like that. I'm feeling a little bit about now I'm thinking about it. But choosing what to do, I feel like it at least makes sense to me that it'd probably be more rewarding to make it a kind of adventure thing where it's more of like, instead of knowing what I'm going to do and people are just along for the ride, it's more of like, I'm going to attempt this thing and let's see where the fuck it leads us. It's more open-ended. I'm not pressured to, make things happen a certain way. If things go wrong, then it's kind of like par for the course, and it's less stressed about that, about controlling shit, making sure that it's entertaining and stuff. There's also, a sense of wonder, which is kind of big for me, which is why I gravitate towards randomness, because it just it appeals to me, where seeing different things be paired up into to make a different whole, and facing weird and unique combinations of things and not knowing what exactly I'm in for sounds fun, and definitely has all that wonder to it. And so perhaps that'd be a better way to frame my content, and hopefully to frame my mind around doing shit that I enjoy. And even though I can enjoy things without, posting them, I would like to share moments and enjoy them with our people as well. At least some capacity. And it's weird because, well, maybe it's not so weird, but recently I commissioned a birthday present for one of my friends months ago, and it's a little strange to me how, like, most of my friends their birthdays are like in February or March. But but so I drew something for someone's birthday. I shared the commission that I did long ago. Well, that I someone drew that I commissioned long ago for someone's birthday recently. And then I have another drawing that I should start working on soon. But yeah, like I've posted it and on a I post it with credit and stuff. And you know, there's one person that like, can you draw something for me? I'm like, I didn't fucking draw this. And somebody else, I told him who did. I even put it in the title. It's like this commission by the person. But like there's tons of favorites happening on it. I don't even know how people fucking found it, but yeah, I'm like having a bunch of this shit where I'm kind of profiting by someone else's drawing and I'm not liking it because fucking it's because it's something I didn't do. Like people are liking the thing and that's cool, but I didn't do the thing. And I like the idea of what the picture is, but so that's like kind of mine. And technically the picture is mine because I commissioned it, and so I like own it now, so I can do whatever I want with it. But it's just bad faith to, you know, say I drew it when that didn't happen, and people really shouldn't have that kind of fucking high expectation of me anyway. So yeah, but I actually felt that where people like I'm getting notifications for something people enjoy that I didn't draw myself, and it's strangely pissing me off. It's strangely pissing me off, but and then on a little bit of a rant, but like on like a social media platform mine, fucking I'm getting pissed off. Like I'm getting pretty irritated because people are following me. And I'm like, why though? Like, why are you people like, there are some that are like bots, you know? It's understandable why they'd follow me. They're fucking bots. But, there's some where like, I don't know if they're bots or not. They kind of look like they aren't, but it's like, why the fuck are you following me? Like, you don't like interact with any of my posts, so it's like how are you benefiting? Like there's no I don't understand the reason why you're following me, so like what the fuck. And to be honest, that actually happened with the fucking the commission too. It's like somebody favorited the commission and then they followed me, and I'm like, dude, do you know what you're doing? I didn't draw that. I try to make it clear that I didn't draw that. You can obviously look at my fucking page to see all my fucking drawings. Because most of them are mine. And fucking... Instead, you just favorite the one and then follow me. Like... If you like the drawing, you should at least go to my page to see if you'd like my other drawings. Because if, like, I don't know if they did that, but if they like my other drawings, why didn't they fave them? And, like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make a sense. Because, like, you never know. Fucking... If you base it off one drawing, then... Like, there's some times where, like, there'd be fetish artists or whatever, where they mostly draw their fetish, but sometimes they'll draw like something normal, and I was like, oh, this is pretty, click, click, and then like when they post their fetish again, it's like, wow, what the fuck? I did not think you would draw this thing, unfollow. It's like, what the hell? But for some reason that's just getting under my skin, and it might be ego, probably ego, but also like I want to feel like there's meaning behind there, you know, like, which is why, you know, people get fed up with like being followed by a bunch of bots, but I've also been wanting like meaning where like if people like my stuff, then I want to know why. I want to feel like that's what's happening, not like just get random follows on social media and then it's like, I'm sorry, why are you doing this? It's like weirdly confrontational, because not only like, why are you following me, because how does this benefit me, but like, how the fuck does this benefit you? Like, if I don't know how you enjoy the shit that I post, then I don't know how you enjoy the shit that I post. So how do you benefit from fucking following me and shit? And yeah. But so I guess I'm out of time, kind of. I'm choosing for like an hour, but yeah, so I should be wrapping this up. So a little bit of recap. So my enjoyment is a responsibility, and so I should set aside time for that and take it seriously enough to, you know, try and figure out how to do that, how to actually cultivate enjoyment and fulfill that need. Also, the mindset that I use to do things will probably affect how I enjoy them and shit. And so I would like to explore the like, let's see, like it's a more exploring, adventuring type of mindset of, let's see how far we get doing this or that. And I guess the next thing would be to I don't know. I kind of want to make plans, but there's pros and cons to being spontaneous versus making plans of what to do. If I do make plans, like, I don't want to feel like I'm stuck doing something. So maybe a framework for my plans is just, this is how I'm feeling right now, subject to change. And we'll see, I guess. So yeah. Thanks for listening to my speak talk. This I don't know if it's actually a podcast thing. But it's a vlog, more or less. Thanks for listening. If you have any thoughts or questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. And I'll see you guys later. Take care.